Hi, today we'll make it easy to understand and tackle one of the most feared topics of quantitative aptitude, that is compound interest. Every placement test, job interview, MBA, bank and all other competitive exam always have at least one sum of compound interest. So instead of leaving it, if we solve it, we increase our score. Practice questions are available on careerwright.com, which has 1000 plus quantitative aptitude practice questions. So let's start with compound interest. The best way to handle all the sums related to compound interest is to just by heart the formula related to compound interest or the formula of compound interest. Now what have we seen for simple interest? What is the formula? In the previous video of simple interest, we have seen we take a loan, we take it at some rate of interest for some amount of time and then divide by 100. This is nothing but the simple interest formula, and we have also seen that amount that we pay is nothing but principal plus the simple interest, right? Now over here the formula for compound interest, it is a little bit easy, but it is not directly the formula to find compound interest. The formula which we use in compound interest sums is amount which you receive after n years. Okay, amount means this amount which includes the principal and the compound interest. Amount which we receive after n years is given by principal amount multiplied by 1 plus rate of interest divided by 100 raised to number of years, that is n. If n is the number of years, then amount received would be p into 1 plus r upon 100 raised to n years, right? So this amount will include the principal and the compound interest. So if someone asks what is the compound interest, you will find the amount, then you will subtract the principal from it, and then you will get the compound interest. This is the formula for compound interest. Even if you say it out loud for like 10 to 20 times, you will by heart it. It is very easy, and it is very useful formula because some type of sums related to population and all that stuff which we will see later on, these require this formula, right? It is the same formula that is needed. We will see how to solve those sums and what exactly it is, but this is a very important formula, so remember it. Okay, P amount received after n years is P into 1 plus r upon 100 raised to n. Now compound interest formula or compound interest sums are of 4 types, right? In simple interest there were not many types, or as such we just had the formula and we used it, but compound interest sums are generally asked from 4 types. If there is something really different or something like that, we can solve using those 4 types. The first type is the simple formula which we have seen right now. Okay, the second type which is there, here there is a difference between the compound interest and simple interest for 2 years is given, and we have to find out either the principal amount or the simple interest or something like that. Okay, so difference between compound interest and simple interest for 2 years is given. This is the second type of sum. The third type of sum is difference between compound interest and simple interest for 3 years is given. Okay, that is CI minus SI. For 3 years it is given. And the fourth category is installments, for which we have another separate video. Simple interest and compound interest installment sums are provided in a separate video, so you can check that out. So we will not deal with that over here. So fourth type is not here. So we will deal with these 3 types, right? And there's an additional 5th type, okay, which we have already talked about, that is nothing but the population sums. But they can be classified into the simple formula type category. So we will not consider it as a 5th category, it is just a separate part of simple formula like sums. So we will deal with these 3 categories. There are 3 different formulas for these, and they are very easy to remember. Let us see what exactly the formula is. This is for the first category, right? The simplest and the basic formula for compound interest. Now let's go on to the second category. If difference between, okay, difference between compound interest, okay, compound interest and simple interest for 2 years is given, right? Then what is the formula? The difference will be equal to P, just like over here. Write this formula over here. What do we get? 1 plus R upon 100 raised to n. We have written the same formula. Now just remove this 1, just remove this plus sign. What do we get? P into R upon 100 raised to n. How many years? For how many years it is given? 2 years. So instead of n, we'll write 2. R upon 100 square. This is the formula. See how easy it was. We just have to remove 1 and the plus sign, and we just have to put in the number of years as 2. Once we know the principal amount rate of interest, we can find out the difference between compound interest and simple interest. Now, this difference between compound and simple interest for 2 years is P into R upon 100 the whole square. This is also equal to, please remember this, simple interest multiplied by R, that is rate of interest, divided by 200. This is also true. So difference is equal to P into bracket R upon 100 the whole square, and that is also equal to, the difference is also equal to simple interest multiplied by rate of interest divided by 200. It is not 100, it is 200. Remember it, it is 200. Okay, just by heart this formula also. So you have learnt 2 formulas up till now. Okay, compound interest is amount after n years is P into 1 plus R by n raised to R by 100 raised to n. Okay, and second one is difference equal to P into R by 100 raised to the whole square equal to simple interest into R, that is rate of interest, divided by 200. Now let's move on to the third category, where the difference is given for 3 years, right, between compound interest and simple interest. The formula is again very easy. Difference will be equal to, right, now for 3 years, that means after 2 years the third year, that means 3 comes after 2. So right, first write down what is the equation for 2 years. It is P into R upon 100 the whole square, right, multiplied by, because now we have to find for 3 years, so multiplied by, write this R upon 100 over here. Okay, just add, which, how many years is the difference? 3 years, so just add 3 over here. This is the answer. So this is the formula. This is the third formula. Difference for 3 years is P into R upon 100 the whole square. This is like the 2-year sum or the 2-year category. Extra element is R upon 100 plus 3. We'll see how to use these 3 formulas while solving sums, and also see how to solve population sums. Okay. Now let's see first what exactly are population sums. These are nothing but simple sums where they say that a city's population is presently say XYZ, something like that, and what will be its population 3 years from now. Okay. Or they'll ask you what is its population 2 years ago, right? It is very easy to solve these sums using the formula for compound interest. So population after n years, we had amount after n years, so we'll have population after n years would be P, that is present population into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to number of years, right? R is nothing but the rate of increase of population. Now this is formula for compound interest. There is a very slight change, okay, in the formula for compound interest and population while finding population. The change is nothing but, in compound interest we had plus sign, in population we will have plus and minus sign, both are there. Why both? Very easy. P is present population, right? R is rate of increase of population or decrease of population. N is number of years. Okay, and plus sign means the population increases, negative sign means population decreases, right? So if someone says that find the population 3 years from now, if it is increasing at the rate of say 10%, what you will write? The present population would be there, it would be plus sign because it is increasing at 10%, R would be 10% divided by 10 or divided by 100 raised to n is nothing but 3 years. Now if they say in the first year population increases by say 8%, In the second year it decreases by say 2%, third year it decreases by say 10%, and fourth year again it increases by say 12%. So what is the population after fourth year? What you will do over here, for each case you will find out the population. So population after the first year, what you will write? You will write P1, since it is increasing, so plus sign, rate of interest is 8% divided by 100, and what will be the value of n? It will be 1 year. Why 1 year? Because it is increasing 8% only for 1 year. So 1 year multiplied by 1. Now it is decreasing by 2%. So minus, you will not have P again over here. This is P present population multiplied by, this is for first year, it would be for second year, it would be for third year, and it would be for fourth year. What it would be? 2 upon 100 raised to how many years? It will again be 1 year, because it is only for the second year that the population is decreasing by 2%. So 1 year again multiplied by 1, again decreasing, so minus, again rate is 10% divided by 100 raised to 1 year. This is happening for third year, and for the fourth year population would be 1, again increasing by 12%, so 12 upon 100 raised to 1. See, this would be the population after the fourth year. See how easy it was. There is nothing to it. Even if they twist and ask the sums, you will be easily able to solve all the population sums, okay, using this formula. Just remember how to solve these sums. We are going to see population sums ahead, but we also learnt it over here so that it becomes very fixed and concrete in mind while solving the sums. Now let's go to question number 1. Question number 1. What will be the interest earned on sum of rupees 6,400 kept for 6 months at 25% interest rate compounded quarterly? Now over here, what have we learned earlier? Formula for compound interest. Okay, what it is? Amount after n years is nothing but P into 1 plus rate of interest by 100 raised to n. Also amount is nothing but principal plus compound interest, right? Now over here we know that interest is always calculated yearly, okay, but here they have given the interest is compounded quarterly. Now whenever there is simple interest, they'll just mention interest or they'll write simple interest. But if they want to mention compound interest, they will always say that the interest is compound interest or the interest is compounded annually, half yearly, quarterly, something like that. If nothing is mentioned regarding compound interest, then always take it as simple interest. Now in simple interest, we have seen how to calculate the interest when it comes to every quarter or half yearly or monthly, okay. If you have not gone through the video of simple interest, please go through the video of simple interest. I have explained it over there. I'll explain it over here also in short, how to calculate or what does it mean to have interest rate compounded quarterly. But please check out the video for better explanation of simple interest compounded quarterly, okay. Now let us take a look what it means to have quarterly interest rate or have interest compounded quarterly, right? Now first, we know that the interest is always calculated yearly. Now if they calculate interest half yearly, what does it mean? It means that it is calculated every 6 months, right? Every 6 months. So in 1 year, how many time periods are there having 6 months? Only two, say Jan to June and July to December. So there are only 2 such periods which are of 6 months duration, right? So there are 2 6 months duration in 1 year. So the rate of interest has to be divided by 2 over here, and the time period will be doubled, that is 2n, okay. So time period becomes 2n and rate of interest becomes r by 2 when it is half yearly. Why? Because there are 2 time periods of 6 months duration in 1 year, only 2. There cannot be 3, otherwise it would become 18 months and 1 year has only 12 months, right? Now next, say interest is calculated every month, okay, every month. So every month means how many months are there in 1 year? 12 months. So there are 12 time periods of 1 month duration in 1 year. So the time period will become 12 times and the rate of interest would be simply r by 12, right? So when we are calculating interest rate compounded monthly or every month, then there would be 12 time units or 12 time periods in 1 year, okay, since of duration 1 month. So time period will be 12n and rate of interest would be r by 12. Moving ahead, if we calculate it quarterly, what is a quarter? Quarter means 25%, and in 100% or an entire object 25% means 1/4. That means there are 4 parts, right, to a quarter. Quarter means 1 part of the 4. So in 1 year there are always 4 quarters, right? 25% plus 25% plus 25% plus 25%, that will be 100%. So there are 4 25%, that is 4 quarters are there. So what would be the time period? Simply it would be 4 into n, and rate of interest would be r divided by 4. Using this, let's solve our problem. What is the formula for compound interest? What we have seen? Amount after n years, okay, n years, remember not months, years, is p 1 plus r upon 100 raised to n years. Here time period is given as 6 months, right? 6 months. 6 months is 0.5 years, right? So this is nothing but n. We know that the rate of interest is compounded quarterly. If it is compounded quarterly, n will become 4 times n. So what is the value? 0.5 into 4, that is 2 years. And the rate of interest will become r upon 4. That would be nothing but 25 divided by 4%. Now let us calculate the amount after n years. P is 6,400 into 1 plus 25 by 4 into 100, okay, raised to n. What is number of years? 2. What do we get over here? 6400, 1 plus 17 by 16 square, 1 by 16 square, right? That would be 6400, 17 upon 16 square. That you will get it as 7225. Okay, so you will get it as 7225 as the answer. That is the amount after 6 months. Now here I have not shown the calculation that you will have to do. Compound interest is feared because of 2 things. One is the formula, or you don't know how to solve it, and other is the calculations. If you practice calculations, you will get better at it and you won't have to worry about anything. Here we will clear out all the concepts and tricks and tips regarding how to quickly understand and solve compound interest sums, right? Now over here amount after 6 months is 7225. So what is the compound interest? We know amount is principal plus compound interest. We have seen it over here. So compound interest would be amount, okay, amount minus the principal, and that would give us rupees 5 would come over here, 2 would come over here, 12 minus 4, 8 would come over here, rupees 825. So the compound interest earned would be after 6 months would be rupees 825. See how easy it was. There is nothing to it. You just need to remember the formula and you will be directly able to put in the values and solve it. Okay, moving on to question number 2. What compound interest will rupees 5,000 fetch in 3 years 10 months at 30% per annum? Again, very easy sum. We know the formula for compound interest. Amount after n years is nothing but p into 1 plus r upon 100 raised to n. Now over here, okay, let us see. Time period given is 3 years 10 months. Okay, that would be 3 years plus 10 by 12 years, right? That can be written as 10 by 12 years. Now this is of the format n a by b years. Okay, this is a mixed fraction. Now generally whatever years we have seen, that is generally a whole number or an entire number. So what to do whenever we have fraction as number of years? Very easy. There is a very small and slight change in the formula. That would be amount, okay, would be equal to, first write down the formula as it is, upon 100 raised to n. So this n which is there, that has already come over here. Now add an extra element. What is the extra element? Just write again this bracket, write it again over here, 1 plus r upon 100. Okay, and now we have written n over here, raised to n, but we should not write raised to a by b. Where should we write this a by b which is remaining? We should write it over here next to r. So it is a by b into r. So what is the formula? Let's write it again. P into 1 plus r by 100 raised to n into 1 plus a upon b multiplied by r upon 100. Okay. So let's solve it. What do we get over here? We have that amount would be equal to principal is 5,000. 1 plus the rate of interest is 30% divided by 100 raised to 3 into 1 plus what is a by b? 10 by 12 we have calculated over here. Okay, so we'll have 10 upon 12 multiplied by rate of interest is 30 divided by 100 raised to nothing, just this bracket. It is not raised to anything. Okay, how much we'll get? We'll get 5,000 into 1 plus 3 by 10 cube multiplied by, okay, over here we'll have 10 and 10, this gets cancelled, 3 4s are, so 1 plus 1 by 4, that would be 5,000 into 13 by 10 multiplied by 13 by 10, because it is a cube, right? 13 by 10 multiplied by 4 plus 1, 5 by 4. The answer to this entire calculation comes out to rupees 13,731.25 rupees. Okay, so the entire amount which we will receive after 3 years 10 months is 13,731.25 rupees. Here I have not shown the calculation because it is time, it will consume time, and this is not the focus of our tutorial. We are focusing on how to understand and solve these sums. So amount is this. Then what will be the compound interest? We have learned that amount is principal plus compound interest. So compound interest is amount minus principal, that would be 13,731.25 minus 5,000, that would be rupees 8,731.25. So this is the compound interest which the person will fetch in 3 years 10 months. Moving on. Question number 3. How much money invested at compound interest will yield rupees 6350.40 at the end of 3 years? For the first year, the rate of interest is 5%. For the second year, rate of interest increases to 12%, and for third year, it decreases to 8%. Now over here, generally, what was the formula which we saw? Compound interest for amount would be equal to P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to N. N is total number of years. So here we directly cannot put N equal to 3. Why? Because the rate of interest for every year is different. So what to do? Very easy. Don't worry at all. Consider 1 year at a time. This is the principal amount. Then for the first year, what is the rate of interest? What is the principal amount given? We do not know. Let us assume the principal amount to be P. Okay. For the first year, what is the rate of interest given? 5% divided by 100. Now this 5% is only for 1 year. That is first year, 1 year. So we'll have time period as 1 multiplied by, what is the second year rate of interest? 12% divided by 100. Now this 12% is only for 1 year. That is the second year, right? So multiply by raised to 1 because time period is 1 year, plus 1 plus 8 upon 100 raised to 1. Now over here, if they have given that for the first 2 years the rate of interest is 5%, then what we'll have? We'll have 1 plus 5 by 100 raised to 2. Okay, instead of 1 we'll have raised to 2. But over here only for the first year, that is for 1 year only, rate of interest is 5%. For 1 year only, rate is 12%, and for 1 year only it is 8%, right? Also they have given that the amount that the person receives after investment at the end of 3 years is 6350.40 rupees. Now take a look over here. We have not written P all the times. We have just written P once, that is principal, and only the rate of interest changes, or that unit, this unit gets repeated year and year. P does not get repeated. Okay. So let's solve it. What do we get? 6350.40, that is the amount, would be equal to P into what we'll have, 115 upon 100 multiplied by 1112 upon 100 multiplied by 108 upon 100. So P would be equal to 6350.40 multiplied by 100 into 100 into 100 divided by 115 into 112 into 108. On simplifying this, we will get rupees 5,000 as the answer. So when we invest 5,000 at various interest rates, compound interest rates, we will get 6350.40 rupees at the end of 3 years. Moving to question number 4. An amount becomes 4 times in 6 years. In how many years will it become 64 times if the rate of interest remains unchanged? Extremely easy sum, no formula is needed, okay, just common sense and logic is needed. Let's see how. First, let the sum be A rupees, okay. In 6 years, okay, in 6 years it will become 4 times, it will become 4A. Again after 6 years, it will become 4 times, that is 4 times 4A. What that means? It becomes 16A. Again after 6 years, it will become 4 times, that is 4 times 16A, that is 64A, and that is what we want. After how many years it becomes 64 times? 6 plus 6 is 12 plus 6 is 18 years. So 18 years is the answer. See how easy it was. Moving to question number 5. Rupees 400 is simple interest for a sum for 4 years at 10% rate of interest per annum. Find the compound interest for the same sum at the same rate of interest for the same time period. Now again, very easy. We know the formula for simple interest, that is take a loan of P rupees for some rate of interest for some time period and just divide by 100. This becomes the simple interest, right? What is the simple interest over here? 400. Principal amount do we know? No. Let us assume principal is P. Time period, what is rate of interest? 10%. Time period 4 years divided by 100. Okay. So what do we get? P would be equal to, this comes out to be 100. Okay. This gets cut. P is rupees 1000. So the principal amount is 1000. What is the formula for compound interest? We know amount is nothing but principal into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to N. 1000 into 1 plus rate of interest is 10% upon 100 raised to 4, that would be 1000 into 11 upon 10 raised to 4. The answer comes out to be 1464.10 rupees. This is the amount which is received after 4 years. So what is amount? Is nothing but principal plus CI. So what is CI? That is compound interest. Amount minus principal. 1464.10 minus 1000, that would be rupees 464.10. This is the compound interest for the same sum at same rate of interest for the same time period. Moving to next question. In 3 years by compound interest, a sum becomes rupees 900. But in 4 years by compound interest, the same sum becomes rupees 1000. What is the sum and the rate of interest? Again, this is actually a easy sum if you have seen the simple interest video. If you have taken a look at simple interest video, you will realize that there is a concept that for the first year of investment or for the first year, simple interest is always equal to compound interest. Okay, so take a look at this video if you do not know this concept. Here also, for the sake of the sum, I'll explain the concept in short, but I would suggest that you take a look at the video of simple interest. Now, over here, what do we know? This is simple interest. In simple interest, what happens? Say you have an amount P. After first year, you will get some interest, correct? So, after first year, you will get some interest which is calculated on the principal P. After second year, again you will get some simple interest which is calculated on the principal P. Again after third year you will get some simple interest which is calculated only on the principal P, right? So for every year the interest is calculated in simple interest case only on principal P. Now take a look at what do we do in compound interest. Compound interest we take, we have amount P or principal P. In the first year the compound interest is calculated on the first year, the compound interest. After first year you will get the compound interest which is calculated on principal P. After the second year you will get the interest which is calculated on principal P plus the first year interest. Okay, after third year you will get the interest which is calculated on amount P plus the second year interest. That means every year you are getting the interest which is calculated on amount P and the previous year interest. That is the reason we called it compound interest. It is not simple as this simple interest that we just calculated based on P. Okay, but if you observe closely, for compound interest first year interest is same as the simple interest first year interest, because both are calculated on the amount or the principal P, right? So that is the concept, that for the first year of investment always remember simple interest will be equal to compound interest. Now say, why did I say first year of investment and not just 1 year of investment? Say for simple interest the investment is for 3 years, first year, second year, third year. For compound interest the investment is 3 years, first year, second year, third year. Okay, now over here take a look. For the first year interest is same. From first to second year, here the interest is calculated only on P, but from first to second year over here the interest is calculated on P and first year interest. So this gap of 1 year is not useful. Again, this gap is also not useful for us because they are different. Only from 0 to 1 year, this 1 year gap, we will have SI equal to CI. Okay, now let us see how to use this to solve our sum. What have they given? There is an amount X. Okay, after 3 years the amount becomes 900 rupees. Also this same amount after 4 years it becomes 1000 rupees, right? What does that mean? That means that X becomes 900 after 3 years, and after that, after 1 year, that is after 4 years total, X becomes 1000. That means 900 gets converted to 1000 in just 1 year. So if we consider principal amount as 900, the final amount would be how much? 1000, right? And that is only in 1 year. And we know in the first year of investment, right, if P is 900, okay, in the first year of P means the entire amount over here. Okay, this is not just the compound interest they have given, they are saying the entire amount having compound interest. So this includes the X, that is principal amount, plus the compound interest of 3 years. Okay, this entire amount, if we take it as principal, in 1 year it becomes 1000 rupees. That means in this case simple interest will be equal to compound interest. Okay, simple interest equal to compound interest. What is the formula for simple interest that we have learned? That is principal into rate of interest into time divided by 100. What is the simple interest over here? Amount is 1000, principal is 900. So 1000 minus 900, 100 rupees is principal interest, simple interest, right? Principal amount, do we know the principal amount over here? Yes, it is 900. So what do we get? We get 900 into rate of interest we do not know. Time period is 1 year divided by 100. We will get 100, right? This gets cancelled over here, and the rate of interest which we get is 100 upon 9%. That can also be written as 11.11%. Now we have found out the rate of interest. We have to find the sum. Now what have they given? In 3 years by compound interest, a sum becomes 900. So the amount which is there after 3 years, it is 900. Just like we saw over here, that is the original amount plus 3 year compound interest. So amount after 3 years is 900. What is the formula for compound interest? P, principal amount, which we do not know, 1 plus R. What is the rate of interest? 100 upon 9 divided by 100. So here 100 will come, and time period is 3 years, right? What do we get over here? We will have equal to P into 1 plus 1 by 9 cube. Okay. Now on solving, we will get P as rupees 656.10. Okay, I'm not solving it entirely, I'm just explaining the concept over here. So the sum which is there is 656.10 rupees and the rate of interest is 11.11%. Have you understood the concept? Take a look at the simple interest video, and also I have tried to explain the concept over here. Always remember, for the first year of investment, simple interest equal to compound interest. Question number 7. The population of a city is 50,000 at present. It increases at the rate of 10% per annum. What will be its population 3 years from now? Okay, now over here we have seen how to solve population sums. It is the same formula as compound interest. What is the formula? Population after n years. What it would be? Present population into 1 plus r by 100, 1 plus minus, okay, raised to number of years. Now over here we want population 3 years from now. So population 3 years from now would be, present population is 50,000. 1, population is increasing at the rate of 10% per annum. So plus rate is 10%, okay, divided raised to number of years is 3. That would be 50,000 into 1 plus 1 by 10 cube. That would be 50,000 into 11 by 10 cube. On solving this, you will get 66550. So this is the population after 3 years from now. See how easy it was, just use this formula and solve the answer. Now moving on, the population of a city is 50,000 at present. It increases at the rate of 10% per annum. What was its population 4 years ago from present? Now we have a problem. Because what happened was that in previous year we saw how to calculate population 3 years from now, or from in the future, what exactly would be the population in the future. But now we do not want future, we want the population in the past. So how to go about calculating this? It is again very easy. What is the formula which we saw? We saw that population after n years was present population multiplied by the rate, 1 by 1 plus minus r by 100 raised to n. Now instead of multiplication, just divide. So population n years ago would be p divided by same formula, 1 minus r upon 1 plus minus r upon 100 raised to n, and this will give you the population for 4 years ago or any year ago. Let us see, for 4 years ago what will we have? We have p of 4, okay. Present population is 50,000 divided by 1. Since population was increasing every year, right, from 4 years to 3 years to 2 years to present, it was increasing at the rate of 10% per annum. So we'll have plus, we'll have 10, we'll have 100 over here, that would be raised to 4, right. Now what would that give us? That would give us 50,000 upon 11 upon 10, the whole raised to 4. The population comes out to 34150.67. So approximately that is equal to 34,151. So the population 4 years ago was 34,151, right? Moving to question number 9. What will be difference in population 3 years ago and 2 years ago of Devon village, whose current population is 1 lakh and which is increasing at a rate of 25% every year? Now this is similar to the previous sum which we saw, right? How to find population of 4 years back, 3 years back, 2 years back, okay? And we have to do exactly the same thing. Find the population 3 years back and find the population 2 years back. But obvious, population 2 years back would be greater than population 3 years back, and then we just have to subtract this, okay? Let us see how to do it. Now population 3 years back, what it would be? P, that is the present population, okay, divided by 1 plus minus r upon 100 raised to n. So what we will get? We will get present population as 1 lakh divided by 1 plus, since it is increasing, 25 upon 100 raised to 3. That would give us 1 lakh divided by 5 upon 4 cube. That would be 1 lakh into 64 divided by 125. Okay, now this is for third year population, right? This is the third year population. Let us calculate the second year population. What it would be? 1 lakh divided by 1 plus 25 upon 100 square, that would be equal to 1 lakh divided by 5 upon 4 square, that is 1 lakh into 16 upon 25. Second year population, after 2 years ago population, 3 years ago population, simply subtract. What we will get? The difference will be equal to 1 lakh into 16 upon 25 minus 1 lakh into 64 upon 125. Here the LCM would be 125. Okay, LCM is 125. What do we get over here? 2, 3 multiplied by 16. This into 5. 25 5 is 125. So we multiply this by 5 minus this as it is, multiplied by 64. Now what we will do? We will just take 1 lakh into 16 as common. What we will get? We will get 1 lakh over here multiplied by 16 as common, divided by 125. Okay, from here 16 has gone, 5 remains. 64 is 16. What is 64? 16 into 4. So 16 gone. What remains is 4, right? And what is the answer for this? You will get, on simplification, 800 into 16, that would give us 12,800. So the difference between population 2 years ago and 3 years ago was 12,800. See how easy it was. Moving to the next question. The difference between simple and compound interest on a certain sum of money for 2 years at 4% per annum is ₹1. The sum of money is, again at the start we have seen, whenever they have given a difference between compound interest and simple interest for 2 years, what we have? The difference, that is nothing but what? Compound interest minus simple interest will always be equal to, what is the formula for compound interest? P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to n. But we remove this, and instead of n, what do we write? 2 years. Why? Because time period given is 2 years. So what is the formula? P into R upon 100 the whole square, and that is also equal to simple interest multiplied by rate of interest upon 200. Okay, so this is the formula. So what is the difference they have given? ₹1, right? What is the principal amount? That we do not know. We have to find out. What is the rate of interest? 4% upon 100 square. What do we get? P into 1 upon 25 square. P would be equal to 25 square, that is 625 rupees. See how easily, very quickly, in hardly 15 seconds we got the answer, right? So remember the formula. Moving to question number 11. Sarang invested some money in HDFC at 3% rate of interest. What would be the corresponding simple interest if after 2 years Sarang got rupees 101.50 as compound interest? Now over here we can solve it by 2 ways. Okay, one way is by giving the formula of compound interest and then finding the principal amount, and then going in and finding the simple interest and all that stuff. Okay, there is another way. This is too long to calculate, so we will not take this. Let us see another way which we have just learned. What is it? Whenever we know the difference between compound interest and simple interest for 2 years, okay, what is the formula we use? The difference will be equal to compound interest minus simple interest would be equal to P into R upon 100 the whole square. That is also equal to simple interest into rate of interest divided by 200. We will use this formula. Now do we know compound interest? Yes, it is 101.50 minus simple interest we do not know. Let's take this second formula, second part of the equation, that is simple interest into rate of interest is 3% divided by 200. What do we get? 200 into 10150 is nothing but 20300 minus 200 SI would be equal to 3 SI. So SI would be equal to rupees 100. This is the simple interest, corresponding simple interest for the compound interest of 101.50 rupees. See how easily we got it using this formula. So always remember there are 4 types of sums and there is also a population category of sums. Moving on to question number 12. Find the principal amount invested if the difference between compound interest and simple interest obtained for 3 years at rate of interest of 25% is rupees 320. Again, this is the 4th type of sum which we saw. The formula for which, what we saw, if they have given a difference between compound interest and simple interest, okay, then for 3 years, how many years? 3 years. Then the formula becomes, first we'll write the formula for the second year. What is it? This raised square, and we'll add one element for the third year. What is it? Write this same thing over here, r upon 100, and since it is the third year, we add 3 to it, right? So easy, Ci minus Si equal to P into r upon 100 the whole square. This is like the second year. Add one element. What is it? R upon 100 will be same, and since it is the third year, add 3. Okay, so let us find out. We have been given that the difference is 320 rupees. Do we know the principal amount? No, that we have to find out. What is the rate of interest? 25% upon 100 the whole square. 25 upon 100 plus 3. What do we get? Let's see. We will have over here, we will solve it. 320 equal to P into 1 upon 16. Why 1 upon 16? 25 4s are, and squaring we get 1 upon 16 multiplied by 25 into 4. 25 1s are, 25 4s are 1, 4 3s are 12, 13 by 4. Okay, this is 13 by 4. On solving, what we get? 320. Okay, we will take P over here directly. 320 multiplied by 16 multiplied by 4 divided by 13. Now this looks difficult to calculate, but there is an easy way of simplification. We know what is 320. It is 16 into 20 into 16 into 4 upon 13. 16 square we know 256, and 4 2s are, we know it is 8. So 4 into 20 is 80 divided by 13. Now 8 into 256. 256 2s are 512, right? So 512 2s are 1024. So 256 4s are 1024, and 256 8s are 2048. We have 2048 and this 0 of 80 divided by 13. So what is the principal amount that we get? That would be rupees 1575.38 rupees. Okay, so this is the answer. So the principal amount invested is 1575.38 rupees. See how very easy sums related to compound interest are. There are just 4 to 5 types. You should know the formula. If you know the formula, very easily you can solve these sums. Okay, it is much better to by heart the formula. Spend 15 to 20 minutes in by hearting the formula right now, because that will save a lot of valuable time in exam. You should be able to solve compound interest sums in just 1 minute. Even if the calculation looks lengthy, if you practice, you will easily be able to solve compound interest sum in just 1 minute, right? So please remember, always by heart the formulas related to compound interest. What is the formula for compound interest? I am writing here on the left hand side. That is, amount is equal to P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to time period n. Okay, this is nothing but the amount, and amount is principal plus compound interest. Remember these and it would become very easy to score in exam. This is it for compound interest sums. We will have a separate video on installment type sums. Give it a like if you like this video, and please share it with others. Comments and suggestions can be left in the comments box. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay updated for more such tutorials.